All right, let's bring in our panelists now with reaction for the hour. We're joined by former Navy SEAL Jonathan Gillum. Also with us, retired gunnery sergeant for the U.S. Marine Corps, Newsmax analyst Jessie Jane Duff, alongside the host of the 13-minute news hour, Bobby Eberle. Panelist, great to see you. Thanks so much for coming on. Okay, clearly we're in primary season because we are talking to candidates ahead of these primary elections, Kari Lake being one of them. And Jessie Jane, as we listened to Kari Lake talk about the priorities for her campaign, what do you think resonates with voters most when they will be heading to the polls, the issues?
She was hitting it out of the park. For Arizona, obviously, that border is causing so much difficulty for Arizona citizens between the crime problem, the fentanyl problem, the human trafficking, everything that's saturating their state. She is on point in finishing that wall. Also, when we're looking at the problems that we're having with inflation, the Biden administration, we have to have America First candidates that are going to push forward and ensure that they resonate and carry this over to 2024. We need strong governors. We need strong Congress. All of these people have to be in place so that we can win again and ensure that the Biden administration and Kamala Harris are sent home packing.
Bobby Eberle, your thoughts on this? And again, preparing for the midterms, these primary races are really getting a lot of attention, specifically there on the Republican side.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got people that are quality candidates that want to fight it out to go after the Democrats because we are in an ideal situation to win back the House, to win back the Senate. Let me put this in the perspective of Texas being a border state where I live. People are concerned about the border. They're concerned about what's going on with their children, both in the safety aspect and what they're being taught. These government-run schools are indoctrinating our kids. That is a big, big issue. And as Jessie Jane said, tops is the economy and inflation. It affects everybody. I'm now an elected official, a county chairman for the Republican Party in my county. I have to drive all over the place. I never thought anything about it until now when it's over $100 to fill up. It's outrageous, and that affects everybody. That is the Biden tax increase, and it's hitting people hard.
And you see those challenges today, every day, quite frankly. Jonathan, when you look at the issues Americans are facing, how much does what happened January 6th impact their daily lives?
It doesn't. It doesn't at all. I tell you what impacts their lives that has to do with January 6th is the fact that the reason that majority of the people went there on January 6th was because the nation is crumbling. And despite the Trump presidency and whether or not he won the election, the majority of people that I know that were there, and I know quite a few people that were there, they were there because government has failed. And I just want to go right along with something that Bobby was saying there. You know, one of the biggest things, I speak to a lot of different Republican groups. I go to a lot of different meetings. And the number one thing that conservatives are concerned with is that the Republican Party is a failed party. They are not a warfighting machine like the Democrat Party. So when you elect somebody, you are not electing them as a part of an overall group. You're literally electing one person who may or may not be working with the rest of the group, which is totally opposite what the Democrat Party does. And that's why the Democrats are able to go in and conquer in so many areas where we should have a stronghold.
Well, that's why we're watching these primary elections. Elections matter. Panelists, if you could, stay with us. A lot more to cover this hour. All right, time now for a look back at the week that was. A lot to unpack. Let's bring in our panelists for their rapid-fire reactions. Jonathan Gillum, Jessie Jane Duff, and Bobby Eberle. Jessie Jane, let's start with what happened. News breaking on Wednesday that there was a man who had wanted to kill Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. He was arrested by law enforcement and is now being charged with attempted murder. Your thoughts on this story?
What's so shocking is the bulk of the news coverage was minimalized. I think the New York Times had it down as the 23rd article, or it was the Washington Post. It wasn't splashed across the headlines, as we know it would have been done had it been Ketanji Brown Jackson, the Supreme Court Justice nominee, or had it been Sotomayor, or any of the left, supposed left judges. This, to me, should have been screaming across every headline that they're going after somebody at such a high rate in our government. So it's disappointing to show that the media really just turned a blind eye to it overall.
Yeah, the top story was Jan 6 in the preview to the prime time, and not an attempted assassination of a Supreme Court justice, a man caught with a gun, ammunition, zip ties. He had a family. They were at home, his kids. We'll move on to this really quickly. President Biden back on the economy here, talking about that, calling an economic recovery, saying the fact that America is in a stronger economic position today than just about any country in the world. It hasn't happened since 1976. Jonathan Gilliam, your thoughts there on the messaging coming out as we just got from the White House, as we just got the highest inflation numbers that came in today for the month of May.
You know, I've got a cup of coffee right here next to me, and that is about one of the only things that I can really afford now on my budget is a cup of coffee and work. Right now, if you get in a car and you drive somewhere, you're going to pay the price. If you try to do something and have a good time and relax, you're going to pay the price. I don't care what Joe Biden says, everything he touches turns to stone. And right along with this January 6th nonsense that we're watching, nothing is being done about school shootings. Not going to be done about the economy either.
You know, we saw crime really come up during the results of the California primary elections there, that recall effort in San Francisco. Bobby, did that stand out to you? This is the president made it to the West Coast to sit down for an interview with Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the people are fighting back. They've seen what's going on with crime rising around the country, and they know they've isolated it, that it's with these DAs and these judges that will not prosecute. And I just want to leave the viewers with this, that Biden's overall theme is build back better. I mean, build back better than what? North Korea? I mean, people are struggling, and he always tries to tie it to Trump, whether it's ultra MAGA a few weeks ago or January 6th. Well, if you bring up Trump in people's minds, they're going to remember low inflation and low gas prices and securing the border and no invasion from Russia. I think that's a bad strategy for Biden.
All right, we got to leave it right there.
Watch the Jimmy Kimmel interview. It's exactly what Bobby just said. He blames Trump for everything.
Yeah, we did see that. He said, not your father's Republican parties. Some Republicans, though, saying, you know what, that's okay. We're paving the way with this new party here. Jonathan Gilliam, Jessie Jane Duff, Bobby Eberle, thanks so much, panel. Appreciate it.
All right, friends, thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And before you go, please hit that subscribe button above. Once you do, tell your friends, share it, spread the word about the 13-minute news hour so we can keep growing. And for more great content, check out these videos right here, and I'll see you next time.